Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video tonight there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Jadon Sancho, like I have been keeping up to date on a regular basis. Also going to be talking with you a bit more about Paul Pogba. I want to know your perceptions on Paul Pogba. Would you like Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United, or would you like Paul Pogba to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window? As you all know, Manchester United are in the market to try and find an adequate replacement for him. And I'm going to delve into more topics a bit later on in the video. Obviously, I've been keeping up to date of what's been going on today with the transfer news. Earlier on, I give you an update on, Jesse Lingard. There's been narratives out of the mainstream media saying that Arsenal have expressed an interest in him and they could look to sign Jesse Lingard. That was actually stemming from The Athletic. And I think Jesse Lingard is one of the players that I expect to leave Manchester United in the summer because he has lost the confidence of Solskjaer. I also give you the news, didn't I, on Jack Grealish earlier on today. Obviously, Andy Gray, who's a former Aston Villa player, he gave his verdict on the speculation regarding Jack Grealish, and he believes that Manchester United should sign Jack Grealish in the summer and should sell Paul Pogba. Jack Grealish probably would cost us in the 60 odd or 70 odd million pound range. But he believes he'd be a good addition to the squad, does Andy Gray, and he believes it'd be a no-brainer move, reflects on the circumstances of Paul Pogba. But he believes Man United should sign Jack Grealish. And obviously, earlier on today, I give you the news on Donny van der Beek. We're now got a good chance of signing him because he's revealed that he doesn't have an agreement with Real Madrid, and also I give you the news on Alexis Sanchez earlier. So I've spoken with you about a lot of things today, haven't I? But yeah, so let's start on the first topic of the development of Jadon Sancho. Now, I do believe if Manchester United do sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window, obviously he will be playing alongside Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial. And I think, if we did sign Sancho, that would be one of the club's best attacks. Sancho, Rashford and Anthony Martial, because they complement each other really, really well. And as you all know, Jadon Sancho's got a fantastic friendship with Marcus Rashford. And Rashford did reveal that he wants Jadon Sancho at Manchester United next season. Obviously, one of the best sides we had was obviously, the 1999 treble-winning team. Yeah, one of the best sides we've definitely had. And I think the last time we had a good attacking trio was back, when we had Cristiano Ronaldo, Tevez and Wayne Rooney in that. But, it would be one of the club's best attacks, if we could get Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window. Jadon Sancho is expected to cost Manchester United around at least £100 million. Probably, we'll end up paying £120 million for him. But either figure would make him a record signing in the Premier League, and it'd make him our most expensive signing. Now, some pundits believe that, they're very sceptical that Man United or Chelsea would pay what Borussia Dortmund are demanding. Even with this coronavirus outbreak, Borussia Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation. They're not willing to let him go on the cheap. They've basically notified us and said they want us to match their full asking price to convince them to offload Jadon Sancho. There has been reports coming out of the media today saying, if Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League, then Jadon Sancho will reject a move to Old Trafford, and this is what it had said. As well, Man United are willing to offer Jadon Sancho around £400,000 a week, so that will make him the highest paid player at the club as well as the most expensive signing. And we're also willing to offer Jadon Sancho the iconic number 7. And like I mentioned, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. Our recent number 7s though haven't been too good. But Jadon Sancho is predominantly a right winger, occasionally can play him centrally. But Man United, of course, do need a right winger. We do need a right winger, definitely. That's one of the areas where Man United do need to strengthen up. Jadon Sancho is only at the age of 20. He just recently turned 20 years of age, and this is now his third season with Borussia Dortmund, Jadon Sancho's. And I think since his arrival in Germany, I've got to say he has been a revelation. Jadon Sancho has got a contract with Dortmund till 2022. Dortmund only paid 7 or 8 million for him from Man City, so Dortmund telling they're going to make a huge profit on the player. The main explanation why I left City is because he didn't get enough first team opportunities at Manchester City, did the player. But, the beneficial thing is that, he's played in the Premier League before, and it'll be beneficial for his career reuniting in the Premier League. And we've been in contact with Jadon Sancho's agent for around 2 months. Fabrizio Romano brought this news out the other week, and I still believe we are working on his contract, but like I said, we're willing to offer him £400,000 a week. We was relentlessly linked with Jadon Sancho last year, but the main explanation why we didn't get him is because we didn't have any Champions League football to offer. Chelsea and Liverpool have also been in for him. I think that he did say recently that Liverpool have ended their interest. I think Liverpool wouldn't be able to get him anywhere unless they sold Salah, Firmino or Mane, because if they didn't, then obviously Sancho wouldn't get regular game time week in, week out, would he? So he won't go to Liverpool, Jadon Sancho. But obviously, it was last week that the Irish Independent, they came out and said it's unofficially confirmed that Jadon Sancho will complete a transfer to Manchester United in the summer. And actually, he probably will be our first signing in the summer. If we do miss out on Jadon Sancho, obviously, there's been a few alternatives on our agenda. Like I mentioned, there was reports saying that Man United could go in for Wilfried Zaha and Memphis Depay. They're both former Manchester United players. But I'll reiterate what I said on my previous videos. It's very, very rare that players go back to their former clubs. It does happen. It's happened in the past, but it seldom happens. It doesn't happen very, very often. And same sort of things with swap deals. They're very, very rare in the modern game. We do have buyback options on both players, obviously. But, I think we can get this deal over the line for Jadon Sancho, providing that, we can get qualification for the Champions League next season. But Jadon Sancho's a player that can score goals, he can create chances, his runs on and off the ball are very, very good. And we've been tracking him for a very, very long time. But, him alongside Rashford and Martial, would be one of the club's best attacks, definitely. Definitely in that. And, we've had some great players up and down the generations, like I've mentioned. One of the best midfield partnerships I've seen was Paul Scholes and Michael Carrick. The best centre-backs I think Manchester United had, was Nemanja Vidic and Rio Ferdinand. They were a fantastic centre-back partnership. And you can see what Solskjaer's trying to, implement at the club. He's basically, trying to build into our history. And he's trying to build a team, what can... try and replicate what the team did under Alex Ferguson and that. But, you can see what he's trying to do, Solskjaer, so you've got to give him a lot of credit for that. But, we've got a lot of good attacking players anyway. Like I said to Rashford, he was one of our best players earlier on in the season, was Marcus Rashford. He was one of our best players. But obviously, he's been out of a back injury since our win against Wolves in the FA Cup, as Marcus Rashford has been out with this injury, as you all know, and you can say he's been a big miss. And Solskjaer did make the wrong decision by obviously playing Rashford in the Wolves game, because if he hadn't played him in the Wolves game, then probably this injury wouldn't have occurred. But up until this point, Rashford has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United. He's been in our senior squad since 2016. I think actually Solskjaer does prefer Marcus Rashford out on the left. Obviously, as you all know, Martial, he's been playing in the number 9 role this season. Even though he predominantly plays out wide on the left, I've got to say Martial's recently rejuvenated himself, but he has sustained quite a few injuries this season as a Manchester United player, is Anthony Martial. And there was still some reports saying that Anthony Martial's future could be in doubt at the football club. And he does face a battle, to keep his place in the team. Martial now, he's in his 5th season at the club, so he's been a long-serving player at Manchester United, is Martial. I think one of the best seasons he enjoyed was his debut season under Louis van Gaal. We paid £36 million for Anthony Martial from Monaco, potentially rising up to 57 or 58 million based on goals and achievements. But he's enjoyed some difficult spells as a Man United player. My perception on Daniel James is that I still think there's aspects of his game that need to improve. His tracking back and his crossing needs to improve, but prior to that, nothing much more really needs to improve. And Daniel James has been a great signing for us. You know, he was a cheap solution. We only paid around £15 million for him. But you see the best of Daniel James on the left. I do believe Solskjaer's been overplaying him this season. Also too, Odion Ighalo, he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. He's got, 4 goals in 3 starts for the club. And, you know, Solskjaer did make an admission saying that we could decide to make his transfer permanent, which I think Man United are going to do anyway, and it's going to cost us around £15 million to get Odion Ighalo in on a permanent transfer, because we've got him on loan at the moment and we're paying like a third of his wages. He is the vocal point and he's totally comparison to our other attacking players, but I've still got to give Ighalo a lot of credit because he has confounded his critics wrong. So it'll be looking likely he'll be our 5th permanent signing under Solskjaer, because he's brought 5 players in so far as Solskjaer in 3 transfer windows and spent in the excess of 220 million. But he's made 4 permanent signings and got 1 player on loan. But I think we're going to get Odion Ighalo permanently. His loan ends on the 31st of May, but the club do have the option to extend it until the 30th of June. Well, we're going to do that because obviously, you know, with the coronavirus pandemic. But yeah, so Jadon Sancho in our attacking line, you know, will just be absolutely sensational. But if Man United can get the right calibre players in this summer, and we can get around 3 signings in, I honestly do believe that Manchester United can challenge for the title next season. Perhaps maybe not win it, but minimum challenge for the title. Because we haven't won the Premier League for 7 years now. You know, the last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season, back in 2013. And obviously, you know, Man United are the most successful team in England because, you know, we have won the most titles. We've won 20 titles, 13 of them Premier Leagues and that. And like I said to you, know, we've had so much success up and down the generations, and we are one of the biggest clubs in the world. But obviously, you know, since Ferguson's retirement in 2013, we have been playing catch up for the last 6 or 7 years or so. And obviously, you know, since Ferguson went, you know, we've had different managers with different philosophies. Obviously, you know, we've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Ferguson era and spent close to the £1 billion range on recruiting new players in. And yeah, a lot of money's been spent at the football club, but it just proves always spending big on players and getting them Galactico players does not always guarantee you success and that. But you can't, you know, not all of the blame stems from the managers, you know, we've had in recent years, you know, why we've been so inconsistent. You know, maybe you can say that, you know, we don't like the way the football club's been running the last 6 or 7 years. Also, too, you know, especially this season, I'll put into the equation that, you know, a lot of United fans have been doubting the Glazers, the club's ownership, that is. They've also, you know, been criticising Ed Woodward a lot. There's some players that haven't performed to their standards. So, you know, the blame doesn't just stem from the managers, you know, because I said, you know, analysing it this season, there's been various issues at the football club. But, you know, Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. 3 managers have gone since the Ferguson era. Moyes went, Van Gaal went, and Jose Mourinho went. But I can assure that Solskjaer will be here next season, providing that we get qualification for the Champions League. I think we only could sack Solskjaer on one condition, and that's if Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League and that. But if it doesn't work out next season, that's when I would decide to get rid of Solskjaer and that. But it does take some managers' time. Reiterate what I mentioned on my recent videos. Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years. You know, Jurgen Klopp didn't settle in straight away at Liverpool. But we know now, reflect on how ruthless the board's and that our managers don't get the time that they'd want. I think Solskjaer, you know, he's still in the Manchester United job is because he was a club legend and that. Maybe disregarding him being a club legend, he wouldn't have been given this amount of time. And, you know, Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now nearly 16 months, so he has been at the football club over a year. But it's good that he's making plans for the summer transfer window because he's got the backing of Ed Woodward. He's also got the backing of the Glazers. I can predict now that we're going to spend over £200 million on bringing more players in the summer transfer window. But when Solskjaer, you know, if he does get sacked or whenever he leaves Manchester United, hopefully, you know, he can leave a better squad behind than the one he inherited. You know, to be quite honest with you. You know, but there's only 5 players that are his. You know, Solskjaer's inheriting the vast majority of Mourinho's players. You know, there's still a couple of players here from the Van Gaal era, and there's still matter here from the David Moyes era. most of the players that Ferguson obviously brought in, obviously he developed a lot of young players, but most of the players he brought in have now gone. There's only De Gea and Jones here now from the Alex Ferguson era, I think, yes. But yeah, so he does deserve more time and that, but Solskjaer is still under pressure though to keep this good run of form up, when the season does eventually resume. Because, before the league and that got suspended, we was unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. So we was in a very, very good vein of form. Now, Solskjaer obviously, won't only be looking to get new incomings in this, more incomings, in the summer. He'll be looking to, get rid of players. And as you all know, I'm going to delve into news now on Paul Pogba. There is a lot of uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future. And like I said to you at the beginning of the video, should Paul Pogba stay at Manchester United or should Paul Pogba go? Now, that is a debate. Now, obviously, there's been the swap deals on the agenda because obviously, there's been talks of De Ligt coming to Manchester United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going back to Juventus. The other week, there was talks of Aaron Ramsey coming to Manchester United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going back to Juventus. Solskjaer did reveal that he's an admirer of Aaron Ramsey, obviously reflects on his pedigree in the Premier League because Ramsey endured 11 years with Arsenal and that. But his wages could be the stumbling block of him coming to Man United because Aaron Ramsey's on like 400 grand a week at Juventus and that. But I think, if Paul Pogba is to go, he probably, will go as part of a swap deal. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll just go without any swap deal involved. But we revealed that we want around £100 million at least for Paul Pogba in the summer. But we've lowered our asking price because obviously, last summer we wanted around 180 million for Paul Pogba. And, Real Madrid, of course, were not willing to meet that valuation. And this is why, the deal didn't... This is why he's moved to Madrid, didn't materialise. We was demanding just over double than what we paid for him from Juventus. Because we paid £89 million for him from Juventus. As it stands at the moment, he is our most expensive signing. Now, Paul Pogba's got 2 years remaining on his contract at the club. It is 1 year with an option of a further year. Man United will trigger that 1 year extension more than likely. And Pogba's on around £300,000 a week at Manchester United, so he's one of the highest paid players at the football club. Now, but we haven't resolved his future. I think if Man United can sign Jack Grealish in the summer and that, and reflect on, how good Fred, McTominay and Matic have done for us, especially recently, I don't think we really need Paul Pogba because us selling him, it will generate quite a bit of money for his departure, plus it will help us with our rebuilding process. And it will free up our wage bill completely if we was to get rid of Paul Pogba. Now, Mini Raiola, Manchester United have been very, very critical of him, reflecting on the number of public attacks he's made against the club since the turn of the year. He was recently saying that, he said that, he wants to take a great footballer to Real Madrid. He also said, he's having a complicated time at Man United, is Paul Pogba. So Mini Raiola has been talking a lot. I think Solskjaer's spoken with Paul Pogba a couple of times this year over his future at the football club. But I think Paul Pogba still wants to leave Manchester United. He still wants to leave the football club. And it said recently his priority is to join Real Madrid in the summer transfer window. Real Madrid are looking to recruit more players in, despite the fact that they recruited 6 players in last summer. But don't forget last year, Paul Pogba was saying, it would be a dream to play for Real Madrid and play under Zinedine Zidane's guidance. But yeah, that's one of the clubs he'll go to if he leaves. He'll go to Madrid or he'll make a return to Juventus because Pogba did enjoy 4 good years in Turin. But since Paul Pogba rejoined Manchester United, you've got to say he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. He also endured a very difficult time under Mourinho because he had a bad relationship with Mourinho. But when the season does eventually resume, Pogba, will be back in action. Pogba's only played 8 times this season for Manchester United due to his injuries and that, so his appearances have been limited in that. But yeah, like I mentioned, we are in the market looking for a replacement for him. Pogba's talks quite a lot about Man United. He recently praised Jesse Lingard for his performances against the big teams, and he also said that Man United are about trophies, and he re-amended our Europa League triumph back in 2017. But yeah, I don't think he wants to be at the football club, Paul Pogba. PSG and Barcelona have also been in for him in the past, and he's only at the age of 27, is Paul Pogba, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. So do you think Paul Pogba should stay, or do you think Paul Pogba should go? But Solskjaer's basically looking for someone to partner up with Bruno Fernandes in our midfield, because Bruno Fernandes is definitely the best player we've recruited in since Ferguson. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes won Premier League Player of the Month for February. I think Pogba would go well alongside Fernandes in our midfield, but I probably believe Paul Pogba is on his way out of Manchester United, and that he's on his way out of the club. Yeah, as you all know, there's been a few strikers on our agenda. I said to didn't I, Manchester United need a centre forward because we're looking for an adequate replacement for Lukaku. I've been recently keeping up to date of what's been going on with Harry Kane. I think Kane will leave Tottenham, but I'm very sceptical about him coming to Manchester United. But, these cheaper solutions than Kane, obviously, Raul Jimenez, there's been, talks about him possibly coming in. He's a cheaper solution. Aubameyang a couple of weeks ago, it says Man United had expressed an interest. Also to Timo Werner, he's been on our agenda, but they're all cheaper solutions than Harry Kane. So let's just put that into the equation. As you all know, Man United are in search for a centre-back. Even though we've got a lot of centre-halves in the team, you've got Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first-choice centre-halves. You've got Bay and Tuanzebe that are our backups. But yeah, so we've got a lot of centre-halves in the team, but we're looking, to get one in the summer transfer window and that. But, like I said to you, the things I do credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for, is the players that he's recommended in so far. He's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood. Around 9 players have left Manchester United since his arrival, and we have generated some money for their departures. Young's gone, Rojo's gone, Darmian's gone, Herrera's gone, Fellaini's gone, Lukaku's gone, Sanchez has gone, and Dean Ensign's out on loan. So yeah, a lot of players have left since his arrival, but like I said, Solskjaer's planning on getting rid of around 5 or 6 players in the summer transfer window. Also, there's another positive I can give you an update on since Solskjaer come in. A lot of players' contracts have been extended. Angel Gomez has not yet signed his new contract as far as I'm aware, but I think he will end up signing a new contract with the club because Angel Gomez did recently reveal that he wants to stay at Manchester United. Obviously, last year Rashford signed a new long-term contract. Martial signed a new long-term contract last year. You had Chong a couple of weeks ago signing a 2-year deal with an option of a further year. You had us triggering Matic's 1-year extension the other week. He deserves that, reflects on his good run of performances. Also, too, I think Mason Greenwood signed a new contract early on the season. So too did Scott McTominay. Juan Mata did last year. He signed a 2-year contract with an option of a further year. Lindelof signed a new long-term contract earlier on in the season. De Gea last September, he signed a new long-term contract worth £375,000 a week. I think the mistake we did make, was giving Phil Jones a new long-term contract last season. So yeah, we have extended a lot of players' contracts, so that's also another positive you can take. Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well because the young players have been given their opportunities. And I think it's the youngest squad we've got in the Premier League this season. I've been very impressed with Mason Greenwood. 13 goals in all competitions, I think, this season. Brandon Williams, I've been very impressed with him. Reflects on his emergence. Solskjaer is no longer interested now in a left-back because, of how good Brandon Williams has done. Obviously, Luke Shaw's done very, very well since he's come back from injury. Tuanzebe was good early on in the season. Diego Dalot, don't really have a perception on Dalot because he's been injured a few times this season. We got him from Porto in the summer of 2018. James Garner, we'd probably like to see him get more opportunities next season. So there's a lot of young players in the squad that are developing and trying to improve. Also, I credit Solskjaer, for him getting us to the last 8 of the Europa League and getting us, to the FA Cup quarter-finals, because the FA Cup and the Europa League is a chance for us getting some silverware on the board and that, to be quite honest with you. As it stands at the moment, we are sitting 5th in the Premier League. We are just 3 points behind Chelsea, but 5th place is a Champions League spot, reflecting on Manchester City's ban from the Champions League for the next 2 seasons. Don't forget, Manchester City have appealed against the decision. But obviously, as you all know, at this moment in time, you've got Liverpool that are strides ahead of us. You know, you've got City, you can say that's still at least a couple of years ahead of us and that. As you all know, Liverpool are on course to win their first ever Premier League title. They only need 2 wins to secure their first title and end their 30-year drought. Even if the season wasn't to resume and it was to be voided, I still think, you know, Liverpool would get the Premier League title and that. But if the season was to be voided, you know, it could change the context of a lot of the leagues, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, but I honestly, you know, do believe Man United can challenge for the title next season. Also, too, yeah, so there's so many positives. There's so many positives so far from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure. You know, our record against the top 6 sides has been good because I think Solskjaer's approach to the big games has been fantastic. You know, since Solskjaer got the job permanently, his record's been disastrous and he is inexperienced as a manager. You know, that's the negatives, but you know, the longer Solskjaer remains in the Man United job, he's going to gain more experience. You know, they're the negatives. We haven't been great against lower opposition. We've had some negative results under Solskjaer. And a lot of games he's made like the wrong decisions and he hasn't really had a plan A or a plan B. But whether Solskjaer's managerial tenure at Man United works out or not, we'll never forget what he's done for the football club. He was a great long-serving player for us for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance, and all that. So I don't feel as though as a manager he's totally comparison to I was as a player, because I don't think he's good enough to succeed as a manager, but I hope to be proven wrong, guys. I really, really do. And, you know, there's a few long-serving players at Manchester United that are still here. You know, you've got Juan Mata now, that's into his 6th season at the club. I think Juan Mata doesn't play as much as he used to, but he's still a good backup to Fernandes, in my opinion, because when Juan Mata gets a chance, he tends to play very, very well. You've got Jones that's still here, but I think he's going in the summer. But Jones is in his 9th season. De Gea's in his 9th season. You know, Martial's in his 5th season. Luke Shaw, I think's in his 6th season. You know, Rashford's been here for several years. Yeah, and so we have got quite a few long-serving players in the team, and obviously, you know, we've had long-serving players before. Valencia, he left last summer. He endured 10 years at the club. Young left this year. He endured 8 years, 8.5 or was it 8 years at the club. You know, Herrera, he endured 5 years. Fellaini endured 6 years. So yeah, we've got some long-serving players now, and we've had, you know, long-serving players before. But there's some players, you know, that have, you know, we've had before that have only endured short tenures at the club. Depay, he wasn't at Manchester United that long, was he? Wilfried Zaha, like I said, he was at the club for a couple of years but never really got any opportunities. But yeah, so like I said, you know, we will see what happens. But revert back to what I said at the beginning of the video, we signed Jadon Sancho in the summer. It'll be if we sign him in the summer, we'll have one of the best attacks. It'll be one of the club's best attacks without a shadow of a doubt. So that's just one thing I do want to say to you guys. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.